Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing, spectacularly wondrous Propagandacaster. I'm your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero like defend over the fatherland. Your lord and master, your king of kings. Off here to a 1v1 owner. Amilly Fields. No, not Amilly Meows, but Fields, Basil. In the north, it is Caosak fighting here for America, freedom, democracy. We're rolling out here with the 2nd Armored Division with a rifle company featuring EC8s. German EC8 specifically, rifle and defensive structures, advanced infantry equipment, and fire up along with white phosphorus. In the south, it is DapopeCoH fighting for the German army, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the 2nd Panzer... Well, not this... let's go instead with 116th Panzerdivision Windhund, Lightning War here, featuring Jägerlight infantry upgrades, tactical movement, relief infantry, Tiger tanks, and the Sturm close air support with infantry and tank and Panzerfaust. Also, a big thanks to Andrew for donating support the Propagandacast with his money. 2 thumbs up to Andrew, and thank you for being part of my company here, along with all my Patreon supporters, who are also a wonderful bunch. You two who are not those people can join the ranks as well by playing on Patreon. You can always just donate. Links are in the video description. Always comment, like, share, subscribe, and prevent Basil from attacking my hands and trying to tear my fingers off. I'm starting to suspect that cat worships some sort of finger god. Anyway, it's going to be MD42 here for Pope in the south. In the north, WS's rifle squad here. Rifle company, definitely not a super common dodge, but still think it's actually fairly good. Like, the EC, I think, tends to get slammed out quite a bit. And flamethrowers, you know, well, never hurt you, though they always hurt the enemy. Sandbags in the south here. In these gunners, they're actually pretty aggressive spread here by Pope as well. And again, we note here once more chain formation. So the machine gun is like slightly less just, you know, vulnerable to blobs or and alpha strike strategies and tactics in general. Standing out here with the Grenadiers. Rifle squad moving back in the north here as well for Mr. Caosak. Deliverer of freedom, democracy, corporate interests. Rifle squad moving forwards here. Got tuck barbed wire here. Rifle squad there. Machine gun there, slightly repositioned. Also worth noting, the icon for the MD4 actually been updated in the minimap. Previously, it actually would display, well, as a regular infantry, but actually now it has the icon of a support weapon. That's actually a tiny bit of detail there as well. Fun fact. Punching there, going for reactions coming in from the other side. But Lightning War, definitely not one of your typical doctrines either. Used to be, but not so much now once the Tiger pretty much got nerfed fairly aggressively. And relief infantry, well, was never that good. Then technically, relief infantry might be slightly better now that the upgroup for the Ostturm is slightly better. That way, might, I suppose, see some theoretical usage. Yes, Basil, Ostturm could maybe see usage that way if people want to use the ability. Machine gun setting up here, rifle squad coming under fire. We got more gunners here for Pope. Rifle squad suppressed and routed here under heavy victorious German firepower. Yes, Basil, the MD42. Rifle squad holding up here, ground lotion pumping for echelons, and the 5's got the echelons coming up there as well. Adding the flamethrower there. Very good, very good. Rifle squad at half health. Basil really wants some attention. That or my fingers. Possibly chicken. Basil is a cat that is very fond of chicken. And so whenever I get some, he becomes even more friendly towards me than usual. Anyways, check there for Pope, very good. One thing for it. He could go for 2, but there's also the consideration that, of course, Pope could be laying down mines. And so in which case he may want to get Minesweeper so he doesn't have his tanks blown up or his infantry's fingers blown off. And so my cat runs off with those fingers instead. Come on, Basil, be a good kitty. Anyway, sitting around the center, Lieutenant up here behind the well, just trying to pacify the kitty. It does not seem to be desiring that today. Just don't want to like have him suddenly attack my hand while I'm recording this. He's already on his way towards doing that, the silly little cheeky bastard. And just damaging to the gunnies and the lieutenant in the centre backed up by the MD42. Come on, Basil. Good kitty. There we kind of go. That's it, flanking out the Grenadiers and MB42 from the south, catching here Pope's machine gun team and thus the Grenadiers exposed. Good flank there by Caosak. Very good flank. Very good flank. Quick retreat there though. Good response. More Grenadiers here for Pope as he lost one. He definitely needs to be taken up. He hasn't already. And probably should be pushing for Panzer Grenadiers instead then. He has teched, so I don't know why he's not replacing the Grenadiers with Panzer Grenadiers, to be honest. Anyway, still light tanking for Caosak. It's going to definitely put some pressure on Pope. He's going to get a pack 40. He could, for the rest of to commit to more armoured cars. Since, you know, if you get several armoured cars out, they could take up the Stuart light tank. That's going to be a bit tough there. Risen sitting out there. Like to make a nice company here for Pope. And he's setting out, no upgrades yet. I mean, G43 there goes actually upgrading one of the squads with it, actually quite good versus the riflemen, so I tend to recommend them there, as they do give your Grenadiers a much better chance of finding the riflemen. We got mines here though from Caosak, thumbs up there, making use of the doctrinal ability for the rifle defensive structures. Clearly Pope is not expecting that because he can upgrade the flamethrowers. And keep in mind, most American players never lay down mines, though of course now it's been spotted and routed, so of course now Pope may feel the need to get some minesweepers in the near future here versus Caosak and the Americans. Armoured car almost done there for Pope, so that's already out. That's going to require either an anti-tank gun, or it is going to require more armoured cars. That's it. Using armoured cars is going to be tricky, though I don't think impossible here on Amilly Field due to more maneuver room, but on certain maps, using multiple armoured cars as you got to light tank is going to be quite the challenge, to put it generously. Mine goes off somewhere. There we go in the centre, losing several Grenadiers. Very good there. Thumbs up to Caosak. We got the 50 cal, which actually got its icon updated, which actually represents its higher caliber firepower there, so it matches that with the Dishka. Technically 50 caliber rounds were slightly shorter than the Dishka's caliber rounds, or 50 caliber rounds. Fun fact! Here's the machine the armoured, pursued by the armoured car, not the other way around. And got wiped. More reasons I'll let for Caosak to replace ones. He's obviously still keen on having extra VS slings. The flamethrowers, since again they're going to be quite a good tool to help him deal with Pope's darting units. There you go, the Panthers off. Damage engine down to half health. Theoretically, if the armoured car was running better state, he could like try and flank behind this dude and that way knock it out. Because now the armoured car kinda has the chance though. You could also hope that Grenadiers could panther fast it before that happens, but that rifle running in there, making an attempt to panther fast here for Pope. Fairly risky, and again he could have tried, but the question of course is, would he risk the Grenadier score without necessarily guaranteeing the Stuart's loss? And that would obviously be no in most cases.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
It's like, I don't know, he needed was Kimbo for Ivan. A twisted Tutsi. Anyways, Lieutenant Hipperson got the Grenadiers again, got the D43, they're firing away, snapping off some quick rounds. Back here, armoured car need repairs. Can't believe we still think a good investment here for Pope versus Caosak. He started being grabbed here by Caosak as well in the 2nd Armoured Division, as Pope and the 116th Panzer Division Vinhund keeps fighting away there versus the Americans. Rifling it off here, pretty much gets off Caosak's forces there, but this field is very much helped by the Americans, and of course we got the 50 cal. That's it. I gotta, like, you know, get used to them having the icon as well now with the dish, because I mean it makes sense obviously, and I was always kind of confused why the 50 cal had the same icon, like, you know, as the MD42 and all the other lower caliber machine guns, but it's just, you know, you've been used to seeing it for so long, so now that it actually has a different icon, it feels weird. Like he just tore off the face of the disc and started wearing it. Hello, fellow comrades! What's wrong with you, Carl? And why are you wearing that guy's face? What do you mean? I'm always glorious socialist 50 caliber machine gun. Oh god. I think the war's got to him. Anyways, bunker up there for Pope. Firing out the rifle squad, twisting about here. Needs to like push around the fuel point. He's might be aiming for the western fuel point instead now, which I guess could work. Meanwhile, there we got weapon racks on there for Caosak. Fresh flame for a team as well there for Caosak to replace the ones lost.
A capture point is under attack.
Armored car fighting where they also got the 5th car there. Quick to switch over to the armor piercing rounds to load them. Very good there. Put some extra pressure on Pope. Gun is moving for the western victory point. Still holding back here. 1 kill, 1 star. Still light tank on the way. Oh, medics on the way there for Pope. That is definitely not a Stuart light tank they're getting there. It's definitely not a Stuart light tank. And he's finding the cover slowly coming away here under intense fire from Stuart. Infantry backing up the attack here. Makes it position untenable here for Pope. And he calls back the grenadiers rather than waste them. Another mine goes off here. I imagine this Pope might start to really wonder maybe should have gone for a minesweeper. But Heinz, the Americans typically never lay down mines. They're too dumb, too lazy, too fat. But suddenly these Americans are. I think they might be Canadians. Stuart there, push back with the Pack 40. Last squad moving in there. 50 cal holding back. Nothing further going on in the Pope's base. Got the Panzer Grenadier there. Pope finally. Definitely got those out sooner. And his Ralph's got rowdy. But one thing for sure, he needs to get on those fuel points fast before Caosak rushes for armor and just buries him beneath a tidal wave of EC8s, at which point I think Pope's going to have a very, very bad time of it. Though Caosak's going to have a great time of it for sure. Fix up the Stuart light tank again. Panzer squad almost done. So there we go. Panzer Grenadier effects bereit. Sandbags up here for Caosak. Very good. Stuart there skirmishing up with the armored car. Pack 40 ready, but apparently either missed or didn't shoot.
Ready for orders.
5th getting flanked with the Gundies. Very good flank here. Getting some good damage with the Gundies. Ralph's got also falling back here. Of course, not wishing to dance with a lot of aggressive wielded Germans with G43s. We got a bazooka team as well for Caosak. The reason through the mines, of course, forming up that. Very typical. Still no take up for Caosak though. That's definitely a slightly missed opportunity. Rearson flanking in for 2. Very good. No supporting infantry in 5. Panzer is setting up. Panny again. Maybe we'll miss accidentally retreating there. Got Grenadiers in mind by the eastern fuel point. I mean, Pope definitely needs, I think, to take out first, but after that, I think you definitely consider the mines for the team there. Just, you know, help you roll the mines because Caosak's going to obviously keep playing on mines here versus Pope because he's getting great value off of them. Into the 5th cal there and suppressed it. Tried to get past it. A fire. Almost got it. I think if he'd popped like tactical movement, he probably could have put it off, but that's that. He was still doing that. He might have a chance with the Panthers, but anyways, that's that. Right in the center, still needs to get those fuel points because Caosak is getting a lot more fuel. In fact, he's getting twice as much fuel than Pope. He's been doing so for some time now, so that's definitely something Pope needs to like put a stop to very fast before Caosak puts a stop to him. Troops reinforcing. Healing. Whoops. Still keep flying away there. Close to Veteran 2. Grab me something from the Pioneer there. Very good. Moving the Western Grenadiers there. Steadily advancing support comes up the centre. Almost got the Stuart here, but the Panther is being absolutely demolished out in the open. Catching is piling up there by the fences. Tank also needs to get away there. Machine gun could try. Well, if it wasn't for it being in range to the 50 cal then being low on health, I would suggest him sending out piercing rounds. But I think that's going to be a waste of munitions and possibly a waste of the MD-42, which is obviously not really what Pope should be aiming for at the moment. He's finally getting these 2 points back. Arm covers in 10 point blank range. He would benefit from taking up, but there you go. Caosak finally taking up there. Thumbs up. They could have that up sooner. Grab an eastern fuel point. He could also consider some fuel caches to maybe speed up things further. Like, he's flooding a bit of manpower, but definitely I think may utilise that a bit more aggressively here versus Pope. Pope also playing some resources, can obviously again use that. He could also consider using relief infantry now, because if you like say suddenly flood the field with some extra Ostrom just help grab points while the frontline troop deal with the infantry, he could actually I think get some good natural going here versus Caosak. So I mean, relief infantry at the right time could be a consideration here for Pope. Whatever the case though, he does need to take up. There we go, finally take that for Pope. Thumbs up. Caosak's majors up. Caosak is also filling up with a mortar. That's an excellent choice here. Bit of light support here could be proved to be quite invaluable here versus Pope and the crowds. Here's their other Grenadiers there. Armored car flying away there. 7 kills close to T2. Could also consider using the manual reload from time to time, some of the machine guns, so that way you know are ready and fresh for fight. By the time they encounter the enemy. You don't have to worry about reloading. Machine caught here by the 5th cal. Nice over there, forced by Caosak. Thumbs up. Machine gun pinned down. So on the left flank, give us the Grenadiers. But the 5th cal still ends up retreating, interestingly enough. Incident outpatch rounds might have been the deciding factor there. But tech almost done there for Pope. That said, Caosak is going to be getting out of tank faster here than Pope. 5th cal sitting up there, very good. And now we got the mortar joining in here. Good damn the grenadiers. Machine gun also taking a hit there, so 3 kills already. That is some great mortar action here for Caosak and horrific mortar action. Oh, also got the Sherman EC8 more way there for Caosak. Thumbs up. EC8 basically referred to the E8 designation, was basically for, you know, best of suspension system, so it had a, you know, smoother ride. You could handle, I think, rougher terrain better overall. Fun fact. From these arm coupling gets the Lieutenant in the centre, got the Steward sitting out here. Pack 40 gets a great hit up, punching straight through the arm of the Steward light tank. Another great hit there. Baggage reinforcing healing. Infantry pouring through the centre, got the punch on the flank for the Flamen the Alpha. EC almost under for Caosak. Then he's doing what he can, using taking down losses. Armand Karma's knocked out. Going for the some important variations, which needs some fuel point again. Pope definitely needs to push some harder, finding in around the fuel points here versus Caosak. And there we go. Sherman EC8. Worth noting, Pope has gone for double packs. Slightly worrying possibilities that Pope might actually try and stall for the Tiger tank. But obviously, he's also just in a really tight position versus in terms of resources. You know, having double pack force up to help survive against large armies like numbers in the, just for a Panzer IV still makes sense, though, to be honest. I mean, let's be honest about that as well. Panzer and Steward light tank damage, engine there, heavy damage inflicted on the American tank. The crew fuming as the dashboard is fuming as well. There's that being shot to bits. Armored covers the rifle squad. Moving forwards. Lieutenant going for flank, but there you go. Mine goes off. There's a Telemine, I think, here from Pope, which almost saw a full button rifle squad. Fun fact in terms of in-game statistics: if stuff like mine goes off and on the explosion, which can include an armored cast autocannon, it actually amplifies the explosion, so Telemine can actually become a lot more deadly. Steward knocked out finally here, but Pope plus the rifle squad they wiped out. It's actually quite helpful here for Pope. Definitely gives some more leeway and room there. There's Caosak, very good there. That said, he definitely should be pushing for a Panzer IV. I mean, he could theoretically try and solve the Tiger here, but I would not advise it. That said, he definitely needs to get some fuel points, whatever the case. I mean, he needs to deny Caosak fuel here. Absolutely. 100%. And again, at this point, he may just run because they're using his relief infantry. Again, just having some cheap Ostrom just run around grabbing points while the combat infantry keeps Caosak's main force occupied. Could be a surprisingly effective strategy here for Pope. Could be a surprisingly effective strategy. Plus, again, in theory, again, wanting the upgrades to light tier 4, the light machines actually be like half decent as well to like fight against the Americans then. So there are some considerations here for Pope. Some considerations towards that. When it's a Palmer crop there, should push the Panzer IV. We could also go from the Stugs. Pushing up the centre of the Pack 40s, the machine gun and the Panzer Grenadier plus some Grenadiers here. Caosak doing a can to stall the crowd advance. Sniper almost done there for Pope. Interesting choice there. But again, I think the Panther would better here. Far left flank here, we got Ralph squabbling up there. Some of these armor come to deal with that. The armor car is already in a pretty dinged up state, so may not quite have as much mileage there against that as he'd like to. Almost got these infantry points back. More mines going off there. Really should get more pioneers. In fact, he probably should have gone for another pioneer squad. Mines to preserve the snipers. You know, maybe just pop with infantry. Obviously, you may just be setting up here for these two close air support, which is fine, but no details. But there you go. Smoking here from Caosak. Thumbs up. Which apparently has super short cooldown, so it's almost instantaneous now. You just keep firing, which might have been overdone. Hard to say the Sherman forwards. Back at base. Still no son of armor here from Pope. Sherman gets into hits from the back. See, some can went through, but the armor car following down. Almost got the Sherman shot. Bounces from the Ace Pack 40 at max range. That is some pretty good luck there for Caosak's Sherman. That's some pretty good luck. More to push back. Going for the victory point with the Grenadiers already depleted. Could get what hitting on mine. Pioneers, I think, might have been in order to attack the unit. Just forgot about. There you go. Panzer IV for Pope. Active Panzer. Meanwhile, Caosak is bringing up another EC8 and the Pioneer squad gets wiped. That's been painful for Pope. Definitely to replace those, obviously. Since he's going to have no way of repairing his tanks otherwise. And he's reinforcing. Healing. Medics hard at work there. Sniper with 2 kills so far. We got 313 versus 444. Reasons rifle sitting out there. Sherman almost done there for Caosak. Tier 4. Counter the Panzer 4. Yeah, so that's going to probably be a Tiger Soul again. Not a super fan of that. Definitely not what you find in the Imperial Dane Big Book of War there. That's one of the recommended actions. Reinforcing healing, tier 4 almost done. Moving up the left flank to deliver the Grenadiers, trying to hit the fuel point. In fact, he's not really done a lot there to try and harass Caosak's resources. And again, relief infantry, a few awesome, could allow him to just more aggressively harass his opponent. And again, if you then lose the awesome, who cares?
Looks like we're getting into the excitement. Ready, go ahead. Infantry,
I thought about jumping in the Sherman, good hit there, punches straight for the frontal armor. Second shot there also goes through. Excellent shooting there. 2 hits, of course, is taking the hit to Pope and the Germans. The crowds. We got the Sentinel sweeping up the eastern side of some infantry. Very good. Right squad there. Conditioning to counter that. Punching the squad there almost wiped out. Very close there for Pope. But it definitely looks like he's stalling for the Tiger tank here. He almost has the fuel. He almost has the manpower. He almost has the command point. So he has a lot of almosts. Sherman there, half health, possibly worried about the packs pursuing it more aggressively. Captain out here going for an anti-tank gun. Obviously starting to consider what Caosak might be going for. I don't know if he's expecting a Tiger tank because, you know, most German players haven't gone for Tiger tanks in ages. He might be worrying about something like, you know, a Sturmpanzer maybe, though of course a Sturmpanzer 2 EZ8 is going to be a problem. And even like a Panther versus 2 EZ8s backed up, but he's going to be fairly tough to deal with bazookas, though of course adding anti-tank guns definitely means that Panther wouldn't get much further. And again, it's largely going to apply, I think, the same to the Tiger tank as well. But that's that. Ground blasting pump for the Grenadiers. Troops getting ready in the base here for Pope. He now has the manpower, he now has the command points, he just needs the fuel, and of course this is where the fuel ration from Caosak against Pope is going to pay off, and the consistent mining. Pope, of course, will need more pioneers once he gets the Tiger tank out, because otherwise he's going to have nowhere repairing that tank, or for that matter, spotting for mines. Because it's going to be really awkward for Pope. He gets out that Tiger tank, gets stuck on a mine, and then it's going to nowhere except to scrap heat and apathy. Panzers then being routed. Machine Family using the armoured cart for heavy cover, not too shabby, but map controls once more slipping out of the hands here of Pope and the German army. Just going up behind the bunch of logs there. So now we're getting a kill there, 5 kills. Now the kill from the sniper by the sound of it. Panzer being ready, showing 40, trying to snipe the sniper. Didn't quite pan out, but certainly got Pope not scared enough to quickly back off, rather than trying, you know, get another taste of things coming up here. Rifle grenade off. There you go, retreating from the rifle squad. And he's going straight to the mine. Take 2 losses. Bingo. We got 285 to 409. Tiger tank is now available for Pope and the 116th Panzer Division Wilhelm, which was a division formed up from the Shatterums of the 16th Panzer Division from the Eastern Front and the 111th tank replacement and training battalion. Somewhere post I think was in Bretagne. Was it Britain? I can't quite ever remember which of the two. But either way, a unit like that, and it's basically formed up the 116th Panzer Division. Fun fact. So I need to be careful. Pack being pushed back. Do some flanking in there. And there you go, Tiger tank up for Pope. So then from nearby Schwerer Panzerabteilung. As Tiger tanks were typically organised into those. In fact, those were the primary sort of shows a type of organisation, though as to what would go on, they'd also appear into what was known as Funkline Abteilung, so they'd be used to control Goliaths and the Forklift. So there you go. White Foster strike here, right, the tank has cleared up one there, other one, East Looks almost cleared up, Tiger moving forward, Panzer almost wiped out. Germano's done, that's a good kill here, but you got air support called in, they definitely did the job there. I'd also said a little mine falling up there, go anti-tank finally, armor piercing, discarding sapper rounds, sorry about that entirely, but that needs to look. German force there, opening up the Tiger tank, punching straight through the Tiger tank's armor. Tiger tank shoots misses, need to be careful here though. You put yourself a lot of damage, fast there you go, down to half health. Air support going down to death in the tank, Sherman not quite there. Anti-tank getting mid-single to 1. Target tank almost like dark. Shoots, misses. 3 kills on it. Machine holding up the distance. And there you go. Target tank almost down. Needs to get that fully away here before the Americans knock that out. Also, it's going to be a very large element here for Pope and the German army. Gun is reinforcing. Pack getting healed up as well. And obviously, Pope has one significant issue right now, which is he's got no pioneers. That target tank is going to be out of combat for some time. This is a big advantage for Caosak. And of course, it also means it ties down a lot of manpower, since it's going to need probably at least more 2 pioneers squads to get that target tank fixed up in time. Plus, got munitions spent on mines, which speeds it up. And of course, finally can then deal with the mines, which of course, probably in the long term, save all this manpower there, anyways. John Franklin, they're going to need to retreat them. Pack shoots and aces, more to their 5 kills close to the age level. Pack shot goes through. Need to get those pioneers out there, Pope. Need to get those pioneers going. Theft gathering, flanking the punch, and then he could try a bound grenade, think about loading, but no. Caosak realizes what's going on and orders the 50 cal to get out of there before they get killed by the Nazis. And I think the sniper caught on fire. Indeed he did. That's a bit awkward. Particularly if the sniper gets caught on fire by a flamethrower, they just have done something terribly wrong with their job. Pioneers found for Pope, definitely rather late there. Peg being hauled away here by Caosak. It's a different problem for Pope's going to make it harder for him to use his target tank freely. Meanwhile, we've got more ECHs here for Caosak and the 2nd Armored Division. The battle line here from Punch on the Lieutenant quickly falls in the retreat here, getting a single kill in. He's caught here by the 5th cal. Target tank still in dying repairs, but there you go. Pioneers ready. Adding the mine to the kits. Very good, very good. Finally. 200 points left here for Pope versus Caosak. I'd still recommend one more Pioneer squad, since it's going to take forever to always repair that Tiger Tick. Holy shit, someone just went flying. Show me out there. I mean, you know, once archaeologists find that part, they're going to be really confused as being in the middle of the forest with a, you know, branch up his ass. Upside down. Pack flying away at the Sherman, pushing it back. Sherman in for flank here, Titan causing dying repairs, and he still needs more pioneers. Yeah, that's just a lot of time with the Titan. He wouldn't be able to like do much except like trying to snipe it because it's just in such a poor condition, like anything knocks it out. Got the Sherman there, but the pack 40 target probably nice and time. He almost got the Tiger tank. The close one, Panther he might be able enough here to maybe safely knock out the gun, maybe. Shot bounced. Almost got the Sherman. One more Panther first here. Poke. One more Panther first. Oh, Tiger tank's almost combusto. And the Sherman. Oh, finally remembers the Panther Fausted. Oh, and the Panther Faust bounces. The odds are bloody low of that. Apparently, don't think I've ever seen like in an allo anti-tank grenade bounce. I can see Panther Faust bouncing, but never bloody anti-tank grenades. Anyways, need to fix up the Tiger tank, and he absolutely needs another Pioneer squad now. He absolutely cannot try and repair this with a single Pioneer squad. That's going to take bloody well forever. And really, he should consider some relief infantry, I think. Anyways, fixing up the Tiger tank there. Finally, more Pioneers for Pope. Finally gets the message. As the Tiger tank there, of course, has seen some intense damage. Shunring about the home to catch the Tiger tank, hoping that Pope is one of those people who are a bit silly and just repairs the Tiger tank outside of the base when it's heavily damaged. Back for the then Tiger weak point. Tiger's a weak point, Ludwig. But there's a weak point. It's an American tank. Everywhere's a weak point. It's like they made their tanks to be massive walking weak points. I mean, the only ones who can make tanks are the more you see weak points, but it's the Italians. What about the Russians? Well, 9s, they're less walking targets, they're just more self-propelled death traps, some of them. And so is the Italians. Picking up the target tank, got 2 Pioneer squad to do that now, 2 marchable sets, very good. Anti-tanks they caught out in the open, but not pursued by the Grenadiers, I think. So what you're really saying is the Italians are kind of terrible at making tanks. Yeah. But sad too. And he's fixing up the target tank, the close veterans 1. Got the panzer behind the echelons.
Watch for my hand signal.
There we go. Target tank almost good to go. I would recommend backing up with some Panther 4s. Which do. Right. But definitely gets medium out. Instead he's going for the heavy Panzer core. I feel like that's kind of compounding the issue of the target tank and the Templars. Again, the fact just been doing so much some doing nothing. So just trying to get some numbers to back up the target tank instead of going for more big, slow to get awkward things that, you know, can be shot down to bits by, you know, several anti-tank guns and maybe several tanks. So I'm feeling like this is a fairly ambitious move by Pope in a position where he's, I think, cannot afford to be so ambitious. Agent of fire from the target tank. There we go. Kill. Now these hit there for Caosak and the Americans, the second armoured. But of course does have actually some super close air support, which of course tank could help them out with those enemy tanks, though not so much against the anti-tank.
Lines of supply are disrupted.
That's me. So it's what possible by here by Caosak, disrupting these tank guns. Continue as well. Definitely a bit of problem for Caosak, or Pope, I mean, could actually risk losing his ace anti-tank gun, which would definitely be painful. And there we go. Lost a lot of experience there, and an excellent fit to the tanks. That was a great kill there for Caosak for freedom and democracy. Jason's advancing there with bazookas in hand, and a minesweeper too. Ooh, wiped.
We just lost a unit.
More rifle squad there for Caosak. While Captain wing at the west side. Just going to be going for Panzerwerfer. Theoretically, those things support one's going to actually hit them and they bunch up close enough, but obviously the Panzerwerfer is going to have one particular Achilles heel, which is it's absolutely terrible against tanks. Targeting there, closing on MT2. That's pretty good if you can get that far. That is pretty good. Got it from the targeting there. Very close to MT2 now. Panzerwerfer almost done there for Pope. Some holding back, with defensive spread here in the centre by Caosak, but also putting up pressure at the same time, so he's not playing too defensive, he's just more like expecting the German counter and being ready to, like, you know, stop that down. Panzer ready, of course, we got the new barrage ability there, though, of course, as mentioned, it requires veterancy 1, which is sort of, shall I say, the sneaky little thing that means, you know, it's actually not that great, because it still means, like, you need to get, like, you know, enough damage in with the Panzerwerfer fast enough to, like, even be able to use it in the first place, and that's easier said than done. Starting moving forwards. Panzer ready. We switch to the Pioneer. German forwards here. German gates for the target tank. Very, very close now to veteran on that target tank. Almost there, almost there. Panther moving forwards here. Getting spotting for the Panther there. Go find a barrel drop. Target tank getting next to very good. Increased range and accuracy, put that machine there, Panther bounce on the anti-tank gun. Almost clears up, there we go, machine force right, the target tank rotating, but there's no infantry support, need to get in there. Air support going as well by Pope, he's going all in, except the infantry is nowhere to be damn well seen. Like, you can even use like tactical movements to like keep the infantry at pace with the target tank more easily, or use relief infantry instead. Now the target tank is just diving deeper and deeper into Caosak's territory with no support. We got one political rifle again coming out soon, and the shown off flanking the target tank. The target tank just has extra firepower. Air support that takes it up. Holy smokes, he's almost there, but the target tank taking too much damage. EC8 abandoned, need to clear up the Pack 40 again, need to get the target tank to safety. 11 kills halfway to the ace level. Where's the infantry, Pope? Where's the infantry? We'll send the infantry. Just reinforcing, Panzerwerfer there, almost good to go. Infantry's all the way back at base. And there go Tiger tank out. If he just had more infantry, he could just use that tactical move to get into the front line faster. You know, something. Mistake there, Pope again. On paper, that Tiger move was good. If it had been supported by infantry properly, like, that would have been devastating. They could have probably won him the game. Instead, he got some damage in, but he lost the Tiger Tank. Now he's going for the Storm Panzer, which is going to be great as the anti-tank and the infantry. But crucially, his opponent can probably just replace his armoured losses with tanks, and the Storm Panzer can be rubbish against that. And we can't then get to another issue here now, then Pope's false composition, which is he has absolutely no bloody anti-tank guns. And I doubt Caosak's going to just borrow many. Storm Panzer almost done. Mortar with 8 level, 8 kills. Very good investment there for Caosak. Storm Panzer almost done for Pope, but again, crucially, he has no anti-tank weapons. I mean, he could, in a emergency, go for Panzerization of the Panzers, but that'd be, I think, a downgrade that could certainly cost him in other ways. But anyway, Storm Panzer out there for Pope. For the Germans, the 1 and 16th Panzer Division Winhund, Lieutenant Russian for the center victory point. Going to use Panzer on the eastern side, Lieutenant COH here, and about the MD-42. Should pop into the opposition around here, I think. Probably won't. It's been a little debility, but again, it's quite good. Going for the eastern victory point, we got 114 versus 349. Easy, almost done there for Pope. Yes, Basil. Almost done. Storm Panzer moving forwards. Shoots and doesn't hit. Grand Eastern victory point. Very good. We've got a Panzer Support. They try and flank in, but it's taken there by the Supreme Farmer of the Americans. But if we can take them there, easy by being repaired here by the Caosak sprayed infantry echelons. Very good there. He's hit from the Storm Panzer. Shot bounces. Of course, again, we see Pope's major issue, which is he's got no anti-tank guns, and the Panthers find way in again. You got air support calling home to stop the EC8, but you know, I doubt it's going to stop it. Got Panzerwerfer, air support running in there. Almost got the EC8. Much more than active infantry close to the front line here is a bit concerning, and then you go EC8. Then with ease knocks out Pope's Storm Panzer, at which point Pope really doesn't have a lot to decide to seriously contest Caosak with. Anyways, whoops, but that's too hard. That was my tank. Boom! He failed. That's fast enough. Anyway, contact the EC8, but not going to finish off here. And now he's effectively outgunned, outnumbered, out-tanked, out-artilleried, and out-victory pointed too. Like, this is not really much Pope can do, and he's got wiped out. At this point, yeah, he's just, you know, kind of adrift in the water.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
That's really how he can sort of really, I think, due to effect the battlefield and others. Caosak, I mean, sure, try, but the question is, what's he gonna do? She's gonna fire from the mortar. Gonna use Panzer moving forwards, ace low on them, very nice. Pushing forward to Ralph's Squad, taking losses out in the open. You see it flanking in. 5 kills, close to 2-1. Recording the retreat path that has a fairly good chance of the wipe, not from all the infantry with BARs, and the Sherman is going to get the wipe. And pop goes the Weasel, 5th cut, then hit with a band grenade, gets a kill, but not enough. Got the anti-tank gun, again, theoretically nice, but... Ooh, and gun is flanking in there. Nice sort of flanking for Propagandacaster in the end, if not, he just lost the Grenadier squad, and there's still the tank he has to deal with. And his pack got, absolutely blitzed there by Caosak's Sherman. On that, we got TD here from Pope, a victory for America, freedom, democracy, a loss for Pope and the German army. Some nice maneuvers, but again, I feel like Pope kind of made the mistake. They're trying to go for the Tiger tank. At least the way he did it, I think, was a mistake. Like, maybe, like, you know, had better fuel control, could have done that sooner. At least, you know, supported better with some armor. I think it'd been great, but I think going for the Tiger like he did, and then into tier 4, insufficient pioneers, I think there were some crucial areas that I think that cost Pope the match. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I've learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family. Don't tell enemies. Don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.